Hello everyone, welcome back to Adobe Live. I'm your host, Fabiola Lara, and today I'm going to show you how you can create really fun animated carousels using Adobe Express. I love creating these kinds of carousels because if you're an artist out there, whether you're a designer or a ceramicist or an illustrator, you know that you can't constantly make new work to share online, but you need to be posting stuff. So this is like the perfect way to make sure that you are able to keep posting all the time without constantly feeling like you're in this race of trying to post. So welcome to this content support group. This is a 3-part series. We already did part 1. You can go find it, and let's get into it today. So here we are in Adobe Express. Here you can see I love to create almost all of my content in Adobe Express for Instagram. This is a nice little file that I made to make it tidy for you guys, but really in the My Stuff folder, it's a little chaotic over there. There's tons of different stuff happening all the time. So I want to show you how you can make something like this to show off your artwork without having, again, to make brand new art every single time. So I created these little mini prints. Let's go to page 1. So I created these little mini prints, and I'm like, what else can I post about it that is interesting without constantly posting the same artwork over and over again? So this is my solution to that. You can create the exact same narrative and tell a story within your carousels. They don't just have to be carousels of the artwork. You can talk about more behind the scenes of the artwork, or there's a million different ways you can go about it. So I created these mini prints, and I wanted to share all the behind the scenes process that goes into it. And honestly, all of these stills that you're seeing are stills from a video that I made. And first I made the reel, and then I was like, okay, actually I can turn some of these stills from the video into a really fun carousel. And the animated part, which I love, is a subtle animation that feels like it's still a photo with just the slightest bit of additional animation. So let me play this for you. Look how cute. So it's still when you run into it in your stream, it's gonna look when you run into it in your feed, it's gonna look like a photo, and then you're gonna see just the most subtle little movements. And that was all created in Adobe Express. Same thing right here. So I'm going to show you how exactly I create all of these and why I like to use Adobe Express to create all of these. So let's get started with a brand new file. That way, you can see me work from scratch. So I'm going to go create file, and I'm going to go into Instagram. There's an Instagram portrait. So Instagram, oops, it keeps... When I go to click on it, it goes away. Okay, hold on. Why is it doing that to me? Maybe if I zoom out. There we go. Okay, we'll zoom back in. That was funny. So once we're here, you just start off with a very blank page. Okay, that's the beginning. It's just blank. And just to get a little bit, if you haven't used Adobe Express before, if this is your first time putting something together in Adobe Express, it's so easy to use. First off, you have up here, you can resize to any other size. You have themes that you can create based on your brand assets, animations, which is what we're going to talk about today, and just all sorts of different configurations that you can use and different features you can use to make sure it's fun and stays dynamic without having to take forever to try and make this. Okay, so I'm going to go into my media, and I'm going to start by uploading images. So I have here, don't mind my my file folders here. I mean, it's pretty organized. So here I have cover photo snapshot. So this is the folder where I put all of my stills. So if I have a still from a video that I really like, I take a picture in Premiere Pro, and then it goes into here. So let's go look for some photos for this video. I think they start around here. So I have a ton of different stills, And I think the one that I ended up using for the first one was one of my favorites, which is like this one right here. So I'm gonna hit open. And if you're curious, I actually filmed the entire video using a DJI Pocket 3. So this is from that. I did film in D-Log, so that gave me some like better colors. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this still in, and I like expanded it to fit the frame. Obviously the still is like 9x16, and this is basically like a kind of 4x5-ish. So we have that. And now I'm gonna apply my title. So I believe my title, you know what, let's just open it over here just so I can always reference it. So I'm gonna go to my stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna open the original one just to have it here for reference, because I don't remember all of the copy, but it's not anything that complicated, to be honest. So we close this, go into pages, and start here. So a little goes into these little prints. That's just like what I came up with to explain, like, even though it's a tiny little project, it is actually kind of a big project. So I'm gonna go to add your text, and then we get this text box. Now I'm creating all of this from scratch, which I'm assuming if you're like a creative, you're probably gonna wanna create something from scratch over using a template. But once this is set, I can kind of use it over and over again like a template. So I'm gonna go here to, wait, hold on. A lot goes into these little prints. Okay. A lot, oh wow, I cannot type on stream. A lot goes into these little prints. Great. So once I'm here, I'm gonna highlight that. And then if you have, and I'm assuming, again, if you are an artist and you've used any of the Creative Cloud programs before, you probably have like libraries already made. So this is one of the things that I absolutely love, is that I can go into brands, click on my brand, and I have like all of my fonts and colors and assets in here ready to go. The brand that I actually use is this brand, which I just need to update the name on. So here I already have so much cool stuff. I have all of my colors, and I thought I had my fonts in here. They're in one of them. Clearly I'm not as organized as I need to be, but let's go ahead and add a font. So I'm gonna be using ITC Avant-Garde Gothic. I just like it. And then I'm also going to add another font, which is the medium version. Okay. And from here, you can actually hit apply brand, and it'll just like apply it to the text that you have, which is so neat. So now every single time that I go to start this, that's all I really have to do is hit like apply brand, and it'll just start. So here we go. And now I'm going to hit get out of here. And sometimes like I get a little lost in here because there's a lot of things that just pop in and out, but all you have to do is like, maybe it's here, or like click out and go back in. It's pretty simple. So once I have my text selected, I'm just gonna center it. And I decided that I want the look where it's like yellow type, like kind of cinematic inspired, if you know what I'm saying. Hi Penny, hi Robert, thanks for being here. So from there, I'm also gonna add a little bit of a stroke. This is just like a recent style thing that I've been doing. It's really all up to you, your taste. And if you click right here, you can go to outline thickness and like play with that. I feel like I'm gonna do 20. Okay. And I'm not gonna adjust, am I gonna adjust the line spacing? Maybe a little bit, but not too much because I don't want it to hit that G anyway. So, okay. Around there. So that's how we would just like add some plain text. This is very, very, very straightforward. Now let's start layering other elements on it to make this feel just like way more just like immersive, I would say. And I'm gonna make it a little bigger. There we go. So I'm gonna come on over to media, upload from device, and I actually have these cool pics that I took of my most recent little collection. And so it's these different photos that I just took like on my phone because I needed them. So I really like this one. I feel like you can really see what's going on here. So I'm gonna bring that in, hit open. Cool. And now already Adobe Express is giving me the prompt that I can just like remove the background. So I'm gonna go ahead and click remove background. And there you go. It did a really good job. Look at that. I'm gonna like zoom in for you. Look how good that is. It's looking so nice and clean. So I'm gonna be using this as just like an added element in my carousel. Maybe I'll make it a little bigger than I had it before. Is that crazy? Let's try it. Maybe like this. I'm like so upset that my hand is cropped because otherwise I could put it a lot bigger. Let's try that. And then I want to add more text just to like make it a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to copy and paste because why not? Sometimes I'm trying to find little shortcuts. And then I'm going to say, let me show you the process. And I want this to be a lot smaller than the headline text. I'm gonna make it like 35, maybe 25. This is like a feelings thing, but like I want them to read that secondary to the main title, so that's why I do it that way. And there's these really, really cool text options you can do over here, which is just kind of different ways to treat the text. So I'm going to click on text layouts and we have all these different options. So we have bow, arch, is it arc or arch? I don't know. Circle, dynamic. Let me just show you some of them. So that's dynamic, which doesn't seem like a big difference because it was already straight. That's the circle, which is pretty cool. Arch, and then bow. So many cool different options. I'm gonna go with arch, and I'm gonna like kind of try and make it kind of hugging these things so that it's like an emphasis on it. It's not exact, but you know, I feel like you get the feeling that I'm trying to capture. And from there, it's time to add a little bit of animation here because I feel like this looks like, you know, it does look like a still from a video, but it's, I don't know, something, I think it's just like the color grading maybe that I did feels cool. And it does look like a hand floating in the air, but I like that because I feel like that makes people stop and pay attention. And it's all about just like almost having like a collage-y effect. So from there, and other ways to just show your art that aren't just like posting the file, because that gets really boring pretty quickly. So from here, I'm gonna click the text and I'm gonna go, right now we were in edit, we can go to effects, we can go to animation. That's where you want to go. And I'm going to hit spin. But actually, this is the in animation. Then we have looping animations that would play throughout. And this would be the animation out. So what I'm going to actually do is do a loop because I would want this to like constantly be looping. And we'll click spin. Cool. Let me show that to you. All right, now I think it would be really neat if I just had this floating kind of like behind it. So I'm gonna click on it and go like this. I'm gonna put it behind the text, and now when I play it, I feel like that's cute. We're trying to like create some depth here and make it just like look more interesting. So I might have it so that it starts a little bit. No, okay, it starts at the right place. Another option would be to maybe make this smaller, but I hate that it makes the text really small, so that's a downside. But maybe if we make it a little bit smaller, we could also have it spin like that. Let me know what you think. I kind of like the big one just because we are working with Instagram and I want it to be like a little bit loud. I don't want it to get lost. I think I'm gonna go like that. Cool. And you guys are right. It does look like this is like someone in front of the camera, which is so funny because this is like in completely different space. This was taken like in my office, and obviously this is like out. So that's pretty funny. All right, so I think I like how this looks. People get to see what I'm talking about little prints. They see me working. Like, obviously I don't work in this like market. I just wanted to make it look funny. And one last thing, we can actually add animation to this photo that we have here. So I'm gonna go into loop. Again, I could have it just so like in the beginning it slides in, which is kind of cool. Let's see, maybe this one. Or I really like pop. So I could have it pop in and then maybe have it on the way out shrink. But I actually want that to always be there. So maybe what I'm, like I don't want someone to miss it if they're scrolling past it. So let's go to, I'm glad you guys like the big one. The big one is definitely, I think, the move, especially when you're always have to think about like the fact that this is going to be presented in a tiny little screen. I'm actually going to remove the in and just remove the out animation. It's that easy to do. You just select it, none, and you're good. And I'm going to hit, in the looping, I kind of like this one. Wait, sometimes it goes so fast. Just like a little bit of a wiggle because I really like this animation because you can make sure that people see it the entire time. Like if someone scrolls really fast, they don't miss the fact that it loaded or it hadn't loaded for them yet. And you can still kind of read what the art says and what the artwork looks like, even with the with that wiggle effect. So I feel like that one's good. Cool. I'm into it. I feel like ideally this maybe wouldn't block so much of this, but it works. We're not going for perfection. We just want to post more content about our artwork. And another cool thing here is you can go to edit timeline and click on your any of the elements on here and adjust when they go on the screen of this video, like when they come up, the timeline of it. So theoretically, I could have this come in later. So I could have it go like this and then come in. Obviously, I don't think I want that for all the reasons I just told you about. But it's pretty cool, and we'll be playing with that more and more. But yeah, here you can zoom in and out. Cool. Now I'm going to hit the arrow key to create, I'm going to create a new page. I'm going to take this out and hit add page, same size, which is very nice that it asks you that because that's like where you could maybe be like, let me create this for stories or something. So now in this one, I had this here created, and I'm going to show you how I made this, which I think looks so cute and like interesting. I love it. I haven't done a carousel like this before, but I've seen a lot of really cool creators create these kinds of carousels, and I've been like really wanting to make one. So I'm so excited to share this. So then I'm going to go over back to where I have all my photos. So it's here, cover photos. And I'm going to go through, let's see. It was right there. How easy. So I'm going to bring that in and I'm just going to expand it. I'm hitting Command Shift, I think, to like move the right one, but you can also hit Shift Option to just, hold on. I guess just drag it from there we go. If you hit Option and then drag it from a corner, it'll like expand from the middle, which is how I've been doing it. All right, and obviously like I'm the center of this story, of this carousel. And again, we're talking about a very small space. So I need to make sure that I'm visible because I feel like people connect with people more. And if I'm saying like, this is how I made the artwork, having a photo that shows me making the artwork is beautiful. All right, now let's go into here. Let's add some more text. Something cool that you can do is just go over here, copy, go back, paste it right into the exact position. I really like doing this so that I don't have to so that when people slide through my carousel, like their eye line and what they're reading stays consistent throughout the entire carousel. So let's see. Now I'm going to add here, wow, I can't remember. First, it's all about the sketches. I really blank on the copy here. I promise I wrote it. Okay, it's all about I'm gonna expand this so that it's a little bit bigger. Here we go. And then I'm just gonna click on that, click Option Shift, and that's gonna drag that, and now I created a duplicate. If you have worked in any sort of, if you've worked in Illustrator or if you work in Photoshop, that's like the same exact command that you do. So that's cool. That's another reason I really like using Adobe Express, because a lot of the same commands apply throughout. So then I'm like consistently working efficiently. So now I'm dragging it from the corners, and I just wanted to kind of I want to make this line and this line up. Again, stylistic choice, just something I felt like doing. There's no right or wrong here. So I'm going to do like that. And unfortunately, it did scale my stroke, which I don't like. So I'm just going to go here and just go down until I feel like it matches, which is right around there. I think that looks good. And I also have the little blurb of text, which is just, it's pretty simple. Let me see. I'm going to go to text, add your text, and here we have it. I did want this to be bold just because of the fact that it's little and there's a background that's pretty busy, but I wanted to have the same stroke. So let's go into here. These are my colors. See, I love that I don't have to reselect any of my colors. And I think it should be a tiny bit smaller. So, oh my gosh, that made it bigger. Let me do 45. 35? Okay. I know it's not good to always to have a million different sizes of text in one graphic, but I feel like when we're talking about social media, you can break the rules a bit, because the priority is making it just easy to read and captivating to want to stay reading it, to keep swiping. So I'm gonna go over here because I don't remember what I said. So I'm just gonna copy that and bring it over here, paste. Cool. So there I have it, and I could easily just align it to the spaces above, just kind of like this. There we go. And now it's all set. Something I also like to do is just make sure that my text looks good. So unfortunately it does have to cut there, which I don't like. So that's probably why I moved this word over, and then maybe move this like that. So that's just something I do because I'm picky and I don't want it to just be the whole thing. So Penny's asking if this was all B-roll or extra footage repurposed. This is actually, if you go over to my Instagram, I already have a video up, and it's basically stills from that video without any of the captions and stuff like that, and from that footage. So I'm just repurposing the video, turning it into a carousel, so that it's just another way for me to create more content about my artwork, but present it in different ways and be able to tell different stories. I think if I made a video that was really going into depth with all of this, people would probably not want to watch it because it would probably be closer to a minute. And though that's changing, people do long form. I'm just trying out new ways to present the same kind of stories, or to speak about my work in new ways. And yeah, this is all built in Adobe Express. Adobe Express is free, which is why I love it. And it syncs with your Creative Cloud, like you saw with my brands. I have here my libraries. It's really, really cool. So I highly recommend it, and that's why we're using it today. Now, if you can see here, I made it look like this, and it's kind of behind me, which I've seen people do in videos, where they have the text like in between them and the background, but I wanted to like try that out in a carousel because why not? So the way I did that is pretty simple. I just press copy, like I selected my image, I press copy and paste. Copy and paste, okay. And then I lowered the opacity. And then I just like kind of try to make sure that it's the same, aligned just the same, which it is, I think, right there. And I'm gonna boost the opacity again. So now this is like at the top. See, if we look at our layers here, which let me see if I can zoom into the layers. No, the layers don't move. Well, right here you can see I have layers. This is the top layer, and then we have our text underneath it, and then the background is the same photo. So I'm gonna click the top photo and I'm gonna hit remove background. And we're gonna let Adobe Express work its magic. I think it did a pretty good job. Yes, it did a great job. I just moved it so we could see like the difference. I think it did a great job. Look at me just floating around. Sweet. I'm gonna leave it right there, so I like that. One thing I'm noticing is like I'm blocking the word sketches just a little too much. So I might move, I kind of have to move myself over a little bit. Grab this, group it, maybe move it up so that it's not so blocked off, and then put this back. Sweet. And I want to lastly bring this to the front. So sometimes when like I have layers that are blocking, like for example, right now I can't click on sketches because I have the photo in the way without the background. Sometimes I go into layers and click on it, and that allows me to then like move it around. See? So that's like another little tip I would say if you just are like being frustrated with not being able to click behind something because another layer's in the way, click on it here and then move it and you'll be fine. Now, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna double, so I group this by pressing Command G. I grouped these two text elements. So here they're like bundled together. If I double tap that, now I have the two layers separate. Whoops. I'm gonna click sketches and I'm gonna animate that. And again, I want this to like be looping, but honestly, it just depends how you wanna do it. But there's some really, really cool animations here. So we have blinking, so it would be blinking the entire time. This one is flicker. Let's watch that. Okay, kind of cool. Bob, a little distracting. Jitter, not bad. Spin, again, maybe not for this case. Wiggle looks cute. It's like less chaotic than jitter. And then we have yo-yo, which honestly yo-yo could work. But the one I want to use, I'm going to go to in, and on in, it recognizes that it's like type. And so it has some different animations that apply like per character. And I just really love how the flicker one looks per character. I don't know why, I just personally love it. I couldn't tell you why. Typewriter also looks pretty neat, but flicker just like, I don't know. It's like kind of unexpected, maybe that's why. And if you click on that, you can actually animate the duration. So let's say we wanted that to last like a full second, and we wanted it to be faster. That's pretty crazy. So it's pretty neat that you can just like customize this. If you had like a really long word, for example, you might not want it to take so long or be so fast. So let me put that, I'm kind of trying to put it back. I'm actually gonna hit none and see if this resets. Great, it reset because I like the original. And you can pick here how to segment the text. So no segment, by character, which is really cool, by word, or by line. So let's see if we were to animate this one, how that would influence it differently. So if I go to flicker and then do by line, so neat. There's so many different ways to use these animations. By word, by character, randomized. Yeah, there's just so many cool ways. Obviously, I don't think this like chunk of text is good to animate, so I'm gonna leave it flat. And then let's press play and see what we have. I love it. I know that I could animate every single thing in here, but I want it to look like a photo, kind of like cinematic. whatever that means, and then have like almost like a subtitle that's really cool. And I think just having like one thing animate or like two little things animate make it feel like a moving photo as opposed to a full video, which is great for carousels, because I think in carousels people don't want to stick around and watch the entire thing. Okay, let's see. Let me see, I have a question here. Yes, the erasing background tool is extremely, extremely good. So for example, if it didn't do such a good job in this, which it honestly it did, I'm gonna click on it, go to edit, and then we have this option. So here you could remove it. So now it's like back to how it was. I'm gonna click remove background again. There it is. And if you click erase, here is where you get options to erase or restore parts of the image. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so let's say like, I'm going to erase like my hand. Is it doing it? I cannot tell what it's up to. Oh, it deleted the entire person. Okay, because there's a background on it, let me change something so that that's not so obvious. So I'm going to take the opacity down of the background. Okay, so now we have the one where it removed the background. I'm going to reset it, restore, remove background. I'm going to hit remove background again. This is what it did automatically. But in the event that it like, I don't know, took my beanie off or something, you can click erase here, and this gives you the functionality to be able to just like add things back in or not. With the quick selection, it's like kind of smart. So I'm gonna hit erase on this and see it like erase my whole beanie. So you can like play with that. Or I can do the circle brush and like erase specific parts like that. So it's very, very useful, but it does tend to do a great job to begin with. So there we go. I'm going to remove the background again. Okay, I'm going to restore the opacity of this one. All right, so that's what we have here. I love it. I find it so cute. Let's keep on going. Add another page. Instead of adding another page, I also want to show you that you could go right click right here at the bottom where you have all of your pages and click duplicate. And now you have an exact duplicate that you can work on, which sometimes, you know, could be a little bit faster than just building it from complete scratch. And I'm going to hit this replace image button. And now this is really cool because I can replace it with something from my library or photos or videos that it already has. I'm going to go into, click on it, replace, and I'm going to replace with upload because I just didn't upload all of my different images. But let's see, the next one that I have, I'm like, here we go. I think it was like this image. Ooh, too close, too close. Here we go, it was this image. And obviously now I need to recenter it, and I'm gonna move it all the way to the back because we had all those different images from before. I'm gonna maybe, I gotta zoom out. Okay, here I'm gonna, if I press shift, well, even without pressing shift, it keeps the ratio so it doesn't get distorted. So I'm gonna go like this. Okay, cute. And then let's see what, you know, the plan is. This is what we're trying to get to. Now, this is actually really cool because I'm trying to show people how, Rezo prints aren't just like a file that I press print. Like I actually have to prepare the file for different layers of printing. I want to show that so that people understand like how special it is. So this is like a really cool thing that I figured out how to do, and it was quite easy. So let's take some of the copy. I've already shown you how to do the copy, so I'm just going to copy and paste it so that we save a little bit of time here on that. Paste. That's another cool thing. You can paste from other files that you have open if they're Adobe Express, which is really handy. And now I'm going to go into, I'm going to upload my own photo here. I believe it's on my desktop. Yeah. So I have all the different layers here that go into creating this print. So it's really, really cool. And I want to be able to show people that that happens. And it's hard to show people that because when I pick up my prints, it's already all the layers together. Like I don't have a chance to get layer by layer necessarily. Maybe I could request it. So I'm going to hit open. It's going to open all 4 of those. I'm going to go to position and just like middle and center so that they're all the same exact size. And I'm going to actually press group. So now they're all together, which, you know, is just for the purpose of like making sure they all stay aligned. I'm going to put them in the middle. And now we're going to like actually animate so that they go layer by layer. So I have to move them in order of appearance. So the last one will be this one. And now I'm going to ungroup it. Right click. Okay, select group and then ungroup. There we go. So now I can like click layer by layer and you can't see it, but I'm right now, let's turn down the opacity. And turn down the opacity for this. So right now I'm working on the first layer. I want this one to come in kind of like just be eye-catching. This is the first one that's going to show up. So maybe it's pop. Okay, I like pop. That's cool. We want to make sure we hit edit timeline because for this, we are going to want like one to come in and one to go out, or they'll just be like on top of each other, which is fine too because this does build on itself. But if for some reason like it was transparent, you wouldn't want it to stick around. So then we're going to go to the next layer, which I need to go. I turned down the opacity just to like show you the different layers, but now it's all the way up. This one, I want the animation. Like there's different ways to approach this. We can have it be subtle. We can have it be more dramatic. Hold on, I'm animating the wrong thing. There we go. Like this, flicker. I definitely don't want something where it's like moving and getting confused with the other layers. So maybe I'm just gonna have it fade. Yeah, so you can see it like grow. I'm gonna go back to the first layer. And okay, so the first layer is there basically the entire time. Once it intros, then I want it there for a little bit before the next layer comes in. So I'm just gonna move my playhead where I think I want the second layer to come in. Then I'm gonna click on the second layer and drag that timeline so it doesn't come in until then. So if we play that through, pops in, changes. And now I'm just gonna start adding all the other layers to it. So like another way that I would have done this without Adobe Express is probably like maybe screen recording me, flipping through it in Photoshop, or having to make it its own video before putting it in here, right? Like I could make it a video, I could edit it together as a video elsewhere and then bring it in, but here you can just bring in the PNGs and animate it right in here without like having to keyframe a bunch of stuff. All right, so here we go. And I did it at around, if you can see here, it's like the tiniest little thing. It says 0.6 seconds. So now I'm gonna try and make it so that at every 0.6 seconds, it switches to the next layer. So let's drag this playhead, 0.6, right there. Then I'm gonna click the next layer, which right now has no opacity, which is this one. And I want the animation to be the same. So I want it to fade in, but I want it to fade in at this point in the video, right? So let's see that. All right, and now the last one, another 0.6 seconds in, which I think is 0.8. I feel like when I have to do math like live, that's a lot. That's requiring a lot. Now I'm gonna boost it and I'm gonna animate it again to fade. And you can animate the duration of the fade, which is very, very nice. But I wanted to start at my playhead, not sooner, because again, I want them to stack and layer. So let's see what this looks like when we play it all the way through. So cool. I feel like this really like gives people the visual of like we're working here in layers, and prepping something for reso printing is totally different than just sending it to like a traditional printer. So love that. You can obviously do this with so many other things. So that's just like one example. You can animate something on top, you can animate the text, you can animate the actual photos. Like there's so many options here, and that's why I love being able to use this. Okay, so I like that. Let's work on the next one. So you can see like for you guys, like if you're not creating a reel about your process, you can have any sort of background image and then write text on top of it about whatever it is that you're talking about. Maybe include some drawings or sketches of your work if you want to show the process, or maybe you're just showing like different parts of your studio and how you use your studio. And by adding like collage elements and also text and then also images and movement, it's just like a whole new way to share information on Instagram and connect with your audience. So here you can see, like you can imagine if you put your own stills in the background and had your own about, that's going to be cool too. By about, I mean like text in there. So now I'm going to right click, duplicate page, and we're going to keep on going. This one is so fun. So, okay, let me show you how I did this. I'm just going to delete some of this. I'm going to replace this image with another one from my stills. Let's see. So many stills that I took. I think it'd be later. Let's see. Nope, it's not in order because I took stills from Premiere. All right, there it was. Click. I'm gonna import that. Oh, that kind of fit nicely. All right, cool, I like that. And then I wait until they're ready for pickup. So that's the pickup phase. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paste that text. And I'm gonna show you how I did the pickup. So I'm gonna click Option Shift and drag to create a duplicate of that. And then I'm gonna write pick in one text box. And then again, I'm gonna click Shift, Option, Duplicate, Pick Up. I want to like emphasize that because again, if it's just like all the same every single time and you don't have something unexpected in every slide, it could get a little bit boring and people might not go all the way through it. So that's kind of why I do it. I'm going to make it, I just dragged Shift and, well, you didn't even need to click Shift. I'm just in the habit of it, but you can just drag it from the corner to resize and then click this to rotate. So I don't want it to like block the action, but I want it to be part of the action. So I think that's good because this is like the handoff is what's important. And then I also have just like a little bit of text here where I'm talking about why this part is so fun, which is basically this is the first time I get to see what it looks like, not from my file on the computer screen, which is like a huge deal because how it ends up looking on the computer screen versus on the final print is completely different. And now, like in the last one, I showed the Rittenhouse, like this is my file. It looks so clean and perfect. But the reality is that once I get it in my hands, it looks totally different. So I'm gonna go to upload to grab another image. I'm gonna go to here, locate my pictures. And I want to bring in another one that I have, which is of just this print, because I wanted to like connect the dots for people and kind of bring them along this process. So here's the image. And once again, I'm going to click remove background. It did a pretty good job. You can see here, it left a little bit of residue and also this, which it's understandable. So I'm going to zoom in just so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to select it, I'm going to hit erase, and from here with the circle brush, I'm going to make it a lot smaller. A lot smaller than that, right around here. wait, I have it on circle brush. Go to quick selection because then it'll select. There we go. So just to recap, if you have the quick selection, it'll like, and you click on one area, it'll kind of identify, just like the quick selection tool in Photoshop, identify that area that you're trying to get rid of and do it all at once. So here you go. That worked because it was like all pink. Let's see how it works on this. See, on this, it's like less understanding. So what we can do here is go to the circle brush and remove it kind of by hand, let's say, right? I'm selecting exactly what gets removed. So I'm going to go like this, right here. And then let me see if I go into quick selection now, if it'll do it. Yeah, see? Once I deleted like a majority, it kind of understood what I was trying to get rid of. It's like the tiniest little thing. Okay, and then I also have this section here in between my fingers. So I'm going to click it and see how that works. Hey, that worked pretty good. I'm going to make my size a little bit smaller, maybe to 1, and click on that. Okay, pretty good job. I'm going to zoom out, hit done. Great. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. And now I'm going to place this right here. Again, I could make it like really big and have it come in later. That's interesting. But I want it, again, to feel kind of like a photo that has a little bit of movement. That's the effect that I'm going for. And I also think that makes it a little bit easier for you guys to replicate. Like if you're thinking about putting just like, it's almost like a mini cute slideshow together with just like tiny little animations to make it more fun and unexpected. So for pickup, I'm gonna go into animation, and I think I want it again to flicker. I just really like how this looks. Cool, and it only does it, it flickers in, so it doesn't do it the whole time. Oh, I left that in there because remember we duplicated it. So I'm gonna select this and delete, select this and delete, select this and delete. All right, so now it's not in there. Oh, what happened? All right. There we go. It has the animations. Press play. There we go. So I was in like the middle of the timeline. Super cool. Another neat thing about working in this is that I saw we had a question if you can actually open it on your phone, and the answer is yes. So a lot of the times, like maybe I start an idea on my phone, so I can go right here, like I'll start it, I'll write out all the text, like when I'm watching TV, I'll just like start creating kind of like my text that's gonna go into all these slides. And then when I wanna get fancier, like I'll come in here and really like, you know, do the designing bit, do the animating bit, but you can do all of it within Adobe Express Mobile. So that is so cool. Another reason I really like that is because once I'm done making it in here, instead of hitting download all pages and then like airdropping it to my phone or emailing it to myself, I don't do that anymore. What I do is I exit, I go back to like home, so I know that like it's done here. Here's like my recent work. And when I open up Adobe Express on my phone, I can click right into it and hit download. So I download directly to my phone and I don't end up like cluttering it up here. Another reason I really like using Express is because now this file kind of lives online. Instead of having like a million different, if I did this like in Photoshop or in Illustrator, it would just take so long. I would have so many files every single time I go to create like a carousel, and it's just like too much. So now here it's like really simple to organize. And one more thing I want to show you is if you go to your stuff, you can actually see like all of the different projects that you work on. So I work a lot in Adobe, I work a lot in Fresco. So here are like the files of some of the other mini prints that I've made. So for example, I made a ton for Valentine's Day. So I could go in here and like click this and it brings it in as an image, which is so cool. And now I have it in here. I didn't have to like export another image and upload it and all that. That means that You could edit one of these pictures. Like if you wanted to draw directly on one of these pictures, you could do that in Adobe Fresco and then come in here and grab it without having to export, re-upload, and do all of that, which is so sweet. Like every single time that I can avoid like an export and an uploading process, I do. And I think also when you click on it, sometimes it gives you the option. It also works like transparent. It gives you the option of adding like it as a page sometimes. Oh, well, I'm not sure where it went. So I don't want to waste the little precious bit of time that we have. But in terms of exporting, all you would do, so now you have like this page. So that'll be like my first post in my carousel. This would be like my second post in my carousel, third. Now I would just hit download all pages. It's gonna do like MP4 because all of these ended up being MP4. But if you happen to have one in there that's a still, like you didn't end up using any animations, you can download it all together still. You don't have to like get a separate file to download it, which I find like so beautiful. So now I'm gonna hit download and like it'll start the download. I'm not gonna make us like sit here for the download. Another thing that we can do is like, okay, I really like this. It's really cute. I wanna post it in my stories so people like know that this post went up. So I'm gonna go into resize and do Instagram story. I'm gonna say duplicate and resize so that it's not like resizing the original. Duplicate and resize. So now it's duplicating it. It's figuring out what to do to fill that space, which is really funny because it's like a big photo. I'm just gonna expand the photo. But look, it did it. It expanded the photo for us. That's so cool. I wasn't sure. I thought that it would maybe like add like a similar color, but it fully expanded the photo for us. And I'm just gonna like rearrange this, maybe bring this down a little, maybe bring this up a little, because like I have more space in a story. Maybe I'm gonna upload like some more images. So I have like this image here that has like the entire collection. I'm gonna add that in. I'm gonna remove the background. And oh, I love that. It's so cool. It left like a little bit, but I'm sure I could erase it if I zoom in. Make this really little, like that. Perfect. There, I got rid of all the background for all of these, and it was so fast. Sweet. And hit done. And now it's right in there. I do feel like it looks like a different color than the original. So if I wanted, like, for example, if I was going to keep both of these and I wanted to match their colors a little bit more, I could click this and hit adjust. And now I can actually adjust it right in here without having to open Photoshop, export, bring it back in. So here I can do some like very quick editing to try and get it to look like similar to the other one. I think the other one's just like a little bit warmer. Okay. I don't think I need to sharpen it, but I could. I don't need any blur, but you can blur things. Okay, I think that looks a little bit closer. And now that was just like some simple little tweaking that I did. Now I could have it here. I don't necessarily know if I need both of these, so I might remove that. Make this a little bit bigger. And maybe I can even animate it because it's a story. So I could do like, that's kind of crazy. Okay, yeah, that's fun. Or pop in. And still have this. Maybe I want this to be like a smaller little element now. Like right here. Preview. Cute. So that's just like a whole other way to share the same exact, like to use the same content to create more, to use the same elements to create more content to promote the same project. So like every single time you have a project, you can talk about it more than once. And that's like the entire point of creating something like this. Alternatively, you can always, like if you don't have backgrounds, we can hit duplicate, remove the background, and now I can create it into like, if I have it a solid, maybe this is like a graphic. So like, for example, every step, oops, how come that happens? Every phase of reso printing. And then I can create like a little checklist. And I don't have to have this, and now that's like could be the final slide or just a whole other post, and you can just constantly reuse this. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you learned so much about how to repurpose your content, create more awesome like carousels and like stories out of the same existing elements that you already have, probably on your camera roll. So thanks so much for tuning in today and learning how you can animate in Adobe Express on mobile or on desktop, and stick around for the next Adobe live stream. And remember that this is a 3-part series, so there's one more part going up in week after next, and it's all about how to animate handwritten text in your videos. So like actual handwritten text that you can put in long form or like Reels videos. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in today, and stick around. Don't go anywhere. Bye.